All right, everybody, now that we are almost done with week 1 of the Modern Warfare beta, I wanted to give some feedback and talk about how I enjoyed it and what the biggest issues were. And the number one thing I would love to start out with would be the TTK. I think the TTK is very horrendous. We are just kill for death, kill for death, kill for death. And I'm trying to learn the pace of slowing down and exploring the map and getting into the proper positioning. But the TTK has just been bad. But I want to say props to the guys over at Infinity Ward, because they are moving very fast, dropping patch news and trying to get that early feel. And I'm hoping to see a little bit more improvement in that K for weekend 2 with Warzone coming out too as well. And it's really a touchy thing, because sometimes it can be too fast and then it can be too slow. It needs to be just right, especially since we are going to have a lot of weapon choices. So I just really want to see that fine line where I have a fighting chance of improving and also figuring out where I'm messing up too as well, along with anyone else that wants to get better too as well. Next, I want to talk about the graphics of this game. Now, of course, all of us FPS nerds turn down the graphics. We want to get the best improvement possible while playing the game. Bruh. But I'm going to say I kept some of the graphics low and I kept some of the graphics high. And with that too as well, I also experimented by turning some, if not all, the graphics down low as well. And the game looks amazing.
You are moving a weapon of war.
I have no complaints visually on this game. There are moments where I have a tough time seeing people where I'm like, wow, where did he come from? What's going on? How'd that happen? But this game graphically looks amazing, and I hope as Call of Duty continues to release Call of Duty, we could continue to have great graphics. Like, I want to say graphics 10 out of 10, which to me is a very important thing in a game. The game wants to look good. We're paying $80 to $100 for a video game. I want it to look its best. I also would love to get the best improvements out of the game too as well, where I'm getting the most out of my FPS, but it looks amazing. Props to Infinity Ward, 10 out of 10 graphics. The UI is 50-50 with me. I miss the old UI in Modern Warfare, MW2, MW3, the original Call of Duty. I know not everything can just be original. I know they want to try out new things. The UI is okay. It's a little messy to me in my personal opinion. I don't really quite get, we have create a class on a whole tab to the left, and then once you go out of that tab, then you have the main tabs there too as well. It just doesn't really make sense to me. I just wish we could just have it on one main screen. Find match, select, then your create a class, your streaks, and then even then you have to click into the create a class and then go from the create a class to basically just edit the streaks and edit everything else. And I get what they're trying to do. I'm guessing each weapon, which I didn't really quite try out, I guess each weapon can have its own streaks, which I'm okay with. I like that, just like how the operators have their own weapons too as well, which is a cool nod back to Call of Duty Ghosts. But it's just that tab, it makes no sense. 2 tabs, basically, okay, not 2 tabs. You have 1 tab on the left, then everything you need on the left. The guns, I'm loving the guns in this game. I feel like they are heavy hitters, lots to choose from. The M4, of course, is king, and I don't care what anyone says, it's the best gun in the game. But I am having a lot of fun using just what we got for right now. I'm not really heavy on snipers, and I'm not really too heavy on marksman rifles. I would have loved for marksman rifles to kind of be included in ARs and more ARs and ditch the marksman rifle era. And as far as sniping goes, sniping is fun in Warzone for myself personally, but I know a lot of people like Scope and Pomage and different snipers in a community like that love to snipe, and I do love watching it. I just don't like being a part of it. It's just never really been my thing, but it is good that sniping is fun in the game at least, and I can't wait to try it out in Warzone to see how it is, because I miss those days of being able to just have big choices. I feel like lately in Warzone, talking about guns, we've only been using ARs and subs. There has really been no incentive to snipe or do anything like that. And I also I'm on the fence. We have so many weapons in Warzone that it's just to add another category with marksman rifles. I just feel like marksman rifles can just be ARs, kind of just maybe with a little bit more of a penalty in a sense. I don't know, just something to think about. I know that won't be a change where they're like, hey, let's completely ditch marksman rifles, but I just feel like marksman rifles can be their own thing in AR, if that makes sense. Weapon leveling, I was wrong about the weapon leveling, but I will add weapon leveling with a twist too as well. So let's start here. Weapon leveling isn't as bad as I thought it was, because let's say you're using the M4 and then there's another AR that you just kind of don't feel like using. You could start at the M4, level that up to its max potential. That gun is going to help you unlock attachments for the other gun. So you might only be progressing, I want to say 10, 15 levels max on a weapon, where the M4 is level 60 to get all the way up to that. I think it's 60 to 61, but then your next weapon is probably like level 40 or 54. You're only leveling up 15 levels out of that weapon, possibly. I don't know how they're gonna take it when the full game comes out, but that's just seeing from the other side. Like, you're going to have weapons that you can select that are going to already be unlocked for all the ARs, but then you're gonna have those specific ARs that you have to use to unlock those attachments that are relative to that AR. Not bad. I want us to, in a sense, get rid of weapon leveling altogether. Just get rid of it. It's not needed. I think we should have the weapons already have all the attachments unlocked. You dive into what you want to use, and then you just go for your camo unlocks on those said weapons. But even then, I can understand. But I just feel like we're in a pivotal point of Call of Duty where time is key, and a lot of people don't have a lot of time like everyone else. And as someone that has a lot of time to be able to use these weapons, just outside looking in, let's just get rid of weapon leveling altogether and just have it to where the attachments are unlocked. And if we want to get those camos for that, let's just do that. I just feel like that would be cool, a nice touch, and that would make the most sense. If you guys are enjoying the list so far of changes that are needed for the Modern Warfare beta, make sure you give the video a like, and make sure you subscribe to as well for all future Modern Warfare 4 content. Leaning into attachments now, they're kind of dumb. I just feel like we have too much attachments, and they can be dumbed down, and then the attachments in the beta are giving out way more cons than they are pros. Of course, they are addressing that too, which is awesome. They are jumping on these things and addressing them fast. I love it. I just still hope, as fast as they are addressing it, I hope they take their time to where we're not going back multiple times complaining about the same thing. But the attachments needed a complete overhaul, not just from the pros and cons, but just dumbing them down. There's lots of scopes and lots that just don't need to be in this game, and it's just less clutter that will dumb this game down and help people make wiser choices. I know they want people to use different things, it's in their data, but I just would prefer to dumb down these attachments, make it simple, make it smooth, so I could create something great, jump into the game. Movement is great than it has ever been. I'm not gonna lie, I think Omni movement was quite a bit of a gimmick, and I say it as this way: we should have already had Omni movement after MW 2019. This game is what MW2 should have been, and I'm gonna say it as we should have had Omni movement in that game, and it should have just been kept from then all the way up till now, and maybe this wouldn't have been a touchy subject. But the movement's great. I love it. I just feel like we're taking great steps forward, but still taking bad steps backwards. But one of the touchiest things that I've figured out about the movement, I am playing on slide only. I talked about it in my settings video. The reason why I'm playing on slide only and I'm not dolphin diving is because there's a delay in the slide when you add the dolphin diving in the mix. I do believe they are addressing that, but it's just a mess. We're doing too much movement fixing, and then the next iteration of COD will make something else interesting, and then the next iteration of COD after that will take it away. Let's just keep the movement the way it is. Let's figure out those penalties, and let's keep it smooth and fluent, because in a game like this, you want to be able to know you're getting better. And currently right now in this beta, I don't feel like I'm getting better, but it's a beta and we're testing it, so that's where we're at right now until the overall game comes out. And I'm pretty sure some of you guys that love Call of Duty and are passionate about Call of Duty, other than content creators and pro players, I'm sure you want to see that you're getting better too as well. That's what makes this game fun for me. It's just knowing that I'm getting better and I'm just improving overall. And as I stated, I'm sure you as the player want to feel that way too. I'm going to be extremely biased on the maps. I don't mind them at all, but I'm always going to kind of be a small map brain rot player. I'm sorry. I'm just so used to going in, going for high streaks, high kills, gunning up, and then that's it. It's weird. I do like the maps, but I prefer the small maps. They're great though. They flow okay. They could flow a little bit better. It's a lot of head glitch spots, and there is a map in specific that I forget that I might end up avoiding all in general. There is a whole bunker behind the map where you are basically you could camp it and you don't have to move. There's a crazy wall head glitch. Then there's a car that head glitches the wall, but then the head glitch wall can see you head glitching the car more clear than you can head glitch the wall. It's a tongue twister, and it's also stupid. We need to get the countdown timer in the back of the map where you need to leave that part of the area and get into the fight, because I can just tell that that's going to be a problem. But I'm pretty sure when you streak out, you want to have a spot where you can duck, hide, use your streaks, get back out there and keep the kill streak going. So I want to be 50-50 with it and just talk about that on these maps, there needs to be specific spots where you can't go. There's just a lot of unnecessary area where you can hide, and this beta is just full of players that hide, and it could just be a little bit tedious and annoying. And I hope they just address it where we can kind of just wall off some area and get the main center of the map focused on. The firing range was a little messy. I'm pretty sure it was rushed because the lighting is bad. The position of the dummies too as well, where you can shoot to understand your gun, those positionings kind of stupid. They have the 10-20 bar, but it doesn't feel like they're that close. And then the drop down over top of the fire range too, where the dummies drop down, that's missing. So I really hope we get a much improved firing range so I can really test out what I want to use, especially going into Warzone 2 as well. So the firing range could just use its original tweak. I would love to see a little bit extra for the firing range too as well, so I can really test out what I'm using and what's going to make sense for the type of game and the type of content that I'm creating too as well when I talk about the loadout. The play of the game is a interesting thing. I don't mind it. Me and my best friend, we actually think it's pretty cool. It's weird because it looks dumb as hell, but it also looks cool. It looks like a montage in a sense, which I like. I like montages. That's what got me into content creators. That's what got me into gaming. So I like that the homage that they're paying. But I also seen in J God's video too as well, where he talks about cheaters and eliminating that. They're making certain clips sus in a sense. I think that's how he explained it. But I like it. I think it's cool. I just think it's pretty gimmicky. I personally would prefer Final Kill Cam, but I'm not gonna say I would prefer something new because they did just give us something new. But I don't know. It'll grow on me. I feel like it'll grow on a lot of people, but I don't really know how everyone else feels. I haven't really seen any complaints about it, which is pretty interesting for the fact that the Call of Duty community is not complaining, but I think it's pretty cool. It's a neat thing. I'm glad it's there. I got play of the game a few times. It looks cool. It just also, but nothing really to complain about. The footstep audio by far has been the best in a COD that I can say, but I actually think it's too great. I have been pre-fired multiple times, and you can almost stop, hear where they're coming, and just get ready for the pre-fire. I've done it so many times in this beta. It needs a slight adjustment, especially since we haven't really used the ninja perk yet. And it's also real easy to stop and pre-fire too as well, with a lot of UAVs up in the air, but the audio is the topping on the cake. It's just too amazing, and I hope it gets a little bit of an adjustment too as well, which they are doing. I'm just intrigued to see how they're gonna adjust it, because the last thing we want is for them to adjust it in a crappy state and then we're back complaining about it again. Hey, fix the footstep audio. I would love this year, and I'm pretty sure other players would too as well, for them to just one and done things, which I know is gonna be impossible. One and done things, and then let's move on to the next thing we need. But we are in for a good year with audio, and it just sounds amazing. They did a good job on the audio, just needs those slight fixes to just put it in a good state. The connection in this game has been phenomenal, in my personal opinion. I don't know how anyone else is feeling. For the most streams I've tuned into, connection has been amazing. The only thing I've noticed connection-wise is when you leave the battle net beta, when you leave out of BattleNet and you're trying to click on the beta, you literally have to go to the bottom of your window and close it out of the task and then open it back. That's the problem I've been having, at least, so I don't know if that's a connection issue. Just one of those small things that just need to be addressed and fixed. Other than that, connection has been amazing. Hit reg can be a little off from time to time. I do hope they fix that, which I also believe they are. The patch notes have been rolling out like crazy. They fast. They've made a little bit of sense too as well, which is a shocker. I hope they keep up with that. But so far, connection, I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10. Just needs small improvements. These spawns have been absolutely buns in the game. I don't know why every year we just can't get that right, especially, I know it's a beta. I know it's a beta. I tell myself that when I'm yelling, when I'm playing, but my God, there's been so many streaks I've lost just running through an area where you have the map knowledge to know, okay, they're gonna be spawning over here, and then boom, they're spawning right behind. Spawns just need a slight adjustment. Let's go through these maps, get it right, especially on the small map too as well. You run past an area you think you're doing great on, and you're holding it down, and then boom, guy spawns behind you, you're dead, there's a streak. That sucks. That's ass. We need to fix that. I really hope we get it right this year. That's it. We got to survival multiplayer for a little bit as Warzone players, and then we're in Warzone, but I really hope they get it right for everyone who's not a Warzone player and who's going to stay on multi. Last here on the list, let's talk about the streaks. I think the streaks are amazing. They are great. They look great. They feel great. I think 3 kills for a UAV is kind of meh. I definitely can feel that, but I don't mind it. I get it. You know, we need that crutch to keep the game flowing, to start streaking out. But I will say I saw one thing that I'm a little nervous about. Juggernaut is 10 kills, and it has a cluster grenade strike on there. So I don't know what they plan on doing with the Juggernaut to make it make sense, but that's going to be a pain in the ass in multiplayer trying to kill that, and it's only 10 kills. I think MW 2019, I think the Juggernaut was 15. It was either 15 or 20, but 10 kills for a Juggernaut that's going to be fully armored with a cluster grenade strike. I don't know. We need to look at that. We need to fix that. Just some small things. They addressed the helicopter's health already, which is awesome. I know not everything can be shot out. Some things are meant to be overpowered, which is great. I'm excited to see how the gunship is going to play, if I can even get the gunship, which is going to resort back to the TTK. So we'll see. But right now, once again, I'm going to give streaks a solid 8 out of 10. All right, guys, I don't know what I might have missed on this list. You guys can let me know in the comments below what you thought about the beta and what you think needs adjusting. I would love to hope that Infinity Ward, when he sees this, they look at everyone's feedback and are just like, okay, let's take a look at this. But who knows? I am very excited for this year's Call of Duty. Thank God it's looking great from campaign to multiplayer. We're about to be able to try Warzone 2 as well, so I hope a great Warzone year, especially for content. So here's to it, man. We have finally gotten to touch Modern Warfare 4, and so far, overall on this beta, I'm going to give it a 7.9 out of 10 for the entire fun that I've had on the beta. The TTK has really quite drained me. I'm just hoping for weekend 2 we can give it a rundown, give it a feel, and we give the overall review a higher on weekend 2, especially with the new Warzone coming out for Zodiac. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you give it a like, a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.